Lesson 6-9, Fractions, Decimals, and Percents. So in Lesson 4-6, you wrote percents like 26% as fractions by writing fractions with denominators of 100 and then simplifying. You can use the same method to write percents like 8 1/3 in a fraction form. So let's take a look at 8 1/3. So what you need to do here is you need to write this as a fraction over 100. So I know that we include a fraction here, but we are just going to write 8 1/3 over 100 because 100 is out of 100% is out of 100. So even though we have a fraction on top of a fraction, that's okay. So we actually need to divide. So what this means is division. So this would read 8 1/3 divided by 100. So you want to turn your 8 1/3 into an improper fraction of 25 over 3 divided by 100. So then we multiply by the reciprocal. So this is where we use the method keep, change, flip. Anytime you are dividing fractions, you keep the first one, you change the sign, and then you flip the second fraction. So this fraction right now is written 100 over 1, but we are going to flip it and make it 1 over 100. So then when you multiply straight across, and you would get 25 over 300, or the simplified version is 1/12. So this here is keep, change, flip, and always remember that any number over 1 is a fraction. Pause the video to try a few examples. So for the first example, we have 17 1/2. So we're going to write that 17 1/2 divided by 100. We're going to turn that into an improper, so it would actually be 35 over 2 divided by 100. We're going to keep the 35 over 2. We're going to multiply, and then we're going to flip this to 1 over 100. So you would get 35 over 200, or you can simplify that down to 7 over 40. For the next example, you have 33 1/3 divided by 100. We're going to write 33 1/3 as 100 over 3. We multiply by the reciprocal, and so you have 100 over 300, which simplifies to 1/3. We're also going to look at changing fractions to percents. There's two ways that you can do that. The first one is you can write a proportion. So let's look at the example 4 over 15. So for this, you can set it up as a proportion equal to a variable over 100, because percent is always out of 100, and so you know that your numerator is going to be out of 100. So now you can begin to solve. You can cross multiply, and you have 400 equals 15n. Divide both sides by 15, and you get n equals 26.67, and that is in the form of a percent. You can also take the fraction 4/15 and you can turn that into a decimal by dividing the numerator by the denominator. So 4 divided by 15 is 0.2667. The 6 is actually repeating. And then you just move your decimal point 2 places to the right. So you get 26.67%. Pause the video to turn this fraction into a percent. So we will look at both ways of doing this one. We will first set it to n over 100. You cross multiply and you get 6n equals 500. And then you take 500 and you divide it by 6 and you get 83.3 repeating percent. We can do the same method where you can divide the numerator by the denominator and you're going to get 0.833 repeating. Here you move the decimal 2 places and so you get 83.3% again. Here is a chart of common equivalents. These are some of the most common fractions, percents, and decimals that you will see. I do encourage you to memorize most, if not all of these. The ones that you'll see the most often are these here on the left, and then the other ones are just kind of extras. Pause the video to complete the lesson review. Make sure you show me this lesson review for verification of watching this video.